रिपीटर होना कोई गुनाह थोड़े ना है. आई विल रादर रेस्पेक्ट अ रिपीटर मोर. जो बच्चा 24वीं बार में, 25वीं बार में, 15वीं बार में, 16 times, 9 times, I know such students. I'll tell you stories. My own students. If he is able to get recommended, it shows that man, whatever else छोड़ दो, resilience कितना है उसमें यार. जो लड़का 22nd अटेम्प्ट में जाके रिकमेंड हो रहा है, कितना रेजिलियंस चाहिए बताओ. फाइटिंग स्पिरिट चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? आपको उसके तो नंबर देने पड़ेंगे. डिटर्मिनेशन है कि नहीं है? एबिलिटी टू चेंज, एबिलिटी टू अडेप्ट, सारी चीजें उसमें देखो कितनी अच्छी होंगी, तभी तो वो निकलेगा ना. तो फ्रेशर रिपीटर का कंसेप्ट वहां से आया. Because there was a time when a person going for the first time was actually very fresh. He didn't know anything. There was no information available. There was no YouTube. There were very few academies. Like there used to be an academy in, is also there now, also Minerva. So everyone used to go to Minerva. Then there was some other academy. I'm forgetting the name. Then slowly, nowadays, I don't believe in this concept of fresher and repeat. Fresher also knows as much or even maybe more than a repeater. But you understand the concept, right? Why it was not that they were against the repeater. No. They didn't want the system to, influence the fresher. So it was more in the favor of fresher. He should not be, getting a disadvantage by being with a repeater. Where? In the group dynamics. Only in the group dynamics. Psychology तो independent assessment है. वो अभी भी आज भी वैसा ही है. इंटरव्यू भी इंडिपेंडेंट है. तो कौन सा सिस्टम बच गया? खाली जीटीओ. जीटीओ में अब उसको कोई डिसएडवांटेज ना हो. तो इसीलिए फ्रेशर रिपीटर का कंसेप्ट इसलिए है. नॉट दैट सिस्टम इज अगेंस्ट रिपीटर. नो, सिस्टम विल ट्रीट फ्रेशर एंड रिपीटर इक्वली with equal respect. Whatever said and done, this man wants to serve the nation. That is for true. तो उसका रेस्पेक्ट उतना ही है, बराबर ही है. ठीक है ना? So the larger question, what is SSB? Akshay, Akshat.
According to me, SSB is a personality test.
Yes, of course. And
it basically, for a week, what the main question that arises in front of you is, if your life is taken away from you, what is left of you?
Wow, that was philosophical. Can you repeat?
If everything from your life, your education, your family relationships, social life, everything else is taken away from you, you are put into an isolated environment, what is left of you as a person? That is what SSB asks as a candidate.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay, that's enlightenment for me, but we'll discuss more. Divyanshu.
It's a personality, dynamic personality test about the person who you are. How can you express yourself in front of you, in front of officers, in front of your colleagues?
To some extent.
And it checks your psyche also.
It's all about personality, as we said. Yeah, psyche.
How that
SSB is which type of human being you are, they want to know.
Which type of, he says. Okay, fine, we'll take the word. Vedic.
So it's in my opinion, it's a holistic personality assessment wherein they are just making sure you are the right fit for the services.
Within a parameter, to large extent, yes.
Mine is like everybody else, is personality test, and also it is more about if you have that quality in you which the armed force need.
Yes, within those parameters. Right. I have a different definition, but quite like this one. My assessment is, and my wordings are, and purely mine. SSB is an art. SSB is an art of knowing you. SSB is an art of knowing you. I mean to say not SSB, not board. SSB selection procedure is an art of knowing you through you. As he said, art of knowing you through सो ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है, सब्जेक्ट क्या है, ऑब्जेक्टिव भी आप ही हो, जानना भी मुझे आपको ही है, और सब्जेक्ट भी मेरे आप ही हो, मेरे पास कोई और सब्जेक्ट नहीं है। मैं किसी और से नहीं पूछने जाऊंगा कि बताओ भाई अक्षत कैसा है, ना मैं उसकी बात पे यकीन करूंगा। मुझे जानना है अक्षत के बारे में, दिव्यांशु के बारे में, वैदिक के बारे में, निज़म के बारे में, बालकृष्ण के बारे में, या किसी के बारे में भी, तो मैं उसी से जानना चाहूंगा कि बता तू कैसा है, राइट, है ना। तो इट इज एन आर्ट ऑफ नोइंग यू थ्रू यू. Why I am using the word art? Because it is not a science. Neither it is commerce. So it's an art. Anything which is not science or commerce is an. Why it is an art? Also because there is no set definition. No set definition. You cannot say that this person, like two brothers in the same family, so you cannot say that this brother is recommended or recommendable, but the other brother is also recommendable because he is also from the same family. It doesn't happen this way. It can be a very different personality. Two brothers, maybe two twins, born at the same time, will have a different personality. Someone who is studied in St. Stephen's Delhi, right, or IIT Delhi, doesn't qualify him to become a defense officer. Someone from a very local college in Muradabad, in UP, in Karnataka, in Bangalore, in wherever, maybe he has those qualities. So, assessment has to be very, very personalized. There cannot be a set rule. I cannot say 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So, since 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, that's why 1 plus 1 plus 1 also is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 is also equal to 4. There is no mathematics. In certain cases, it can be 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. सेम बैकग्राउंड से अगर दो बच्चे मेरे पास आए हैं स्क्रीनिंग होके, एक गांव से लड़का है, उसको पब्लिक स्पीकिंग नहीं आती है, I will give him the credit for that, right? I should give him the credit. He didn't get the exposure. Similarly, एक शहर से लड़का आया है, वो बहुत अच्छी पब्लिक स्पीकिंग आता है, मैं उसको उतना क्रेडिट उसको नहीं दूंगा। अगर वो सेंट स्टीफेंस में था, वो सेंट माइकल्स में था, या किसी ऐसे स्कूल में था जहां पे एक्सपोजर था उसको, so he made best use of it, and I'll give him the credit for that. But I will not put him down or anyone down just because he didn't get that exposure. If I give him the exposure, he will also start speaking. That is where it comes ki SSB does not recommend you to become an officer. It doesn't say that. It recommends you to be trained. It recommends you for what? Training. Yes, this material is trainable. Because after training, you will be a different person. A person who was very casual, lanky, ऐसे चलता था, ट्रेनिंग के बाद वो एकदम ऐसे चल रहा वो. There is an effect of training. He's a different, transformed person. Right? So what am I looking? Whether he's trainable or, right? So I am also giving you marks for your trainability. How trainable a person you are. Are you a trainable person or you're a very rigid person? You just can't be trained. There are people very rigid, very stubborn, not ready to change. There are people who are very flexible. They're ready to adapt to new things. है कि नहीं? Right? So more flexible a person is more trainable. So in a way we can directly say or indirectly say that trainability will play an important role. How flexible is your thought process, your approach to life? Are you totally stubborn about whatever is your thought process, or are you? मेरी बात समझ रहे हो आप? एक क्लोज्ड आइडिया हो गया ना, एकदम से क्लोज्ड आइडिया, नहीं अब तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. ये पर्सनालिटी ट्रेन करनी बड़ी मुश्किल है, समझ रहे हो ना? और एक बंदा है जो अडेप्टेबल है बहुत, एंड दैट इज वेयर द OLQ कम्स, सोशल अडेप्टेबिलिटी. राइट? हाउ अडेप्टेबल, फ्लेक्सिबल अ पर्सन यू आर. राइट? Are you getting my point? But if you really want to know why this SSB came, then I'll take you to World War One. World War. What happened in World War One? The evolution of SSB started there. So SSB is not our system, by the way. ये कोई हमने नहीं डिजाइन किया है. ये जो मनसा वाचा कर्मणा जो हम अपना घुसा देते हैं ना, वो हम जबरदस्ती को घुसा रहे हैं. और rather we are trying to make it look more authentic, and that is true also. है तो वही मनसा वाचा कर्मणा ही, but ये सिस्टम हमारा नहीं है, ये adopted system है. तो इसका मतलब ये सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं है, ये across the world कई जगहों पे, particularly जहां जहां ब्रिटिश रूल रहा है वहां तो है, जहां जहां ब्रिटिश रूल रहा है, wherever, right? So World War One में क्या हुआ? What happened? Major thing that was observed in World War One was World War One and World War Two make major difference. World War One was pure infantry war, man-to-man war with modern weapons. There used to be man-to-man war, but with conventional weapons. But World War One में there were modern weapons. There were guns. You could shoot a person, right? And if you remember old movies, if you have seen, and that is where I recommend you one movie which you can watch today whenever you guys are free, and we can put here also, 1917. How many of you have seen? Both of you have seen? You have not seen?
Sir, I have seen 1971.
Indian? एक तो मुझे इंडियन सिनेमा से बहुत नाराज किया. उन्होंने जो वॉर मूवीज बनाई हैं इतनी बकवास बनाई है, मजाक बना दिया यार. अभी रिसेंटली एक मूवी आई थी एयरफोर्स पे. What a joke it was that. Not fighter, war. The Hrithik Roshan movie. Fighter थी क्या वो? I found it so funny. What the hell? I mean, compare it to that Tom Cruise वाली movie कौन सी थी? Top Gun से compare हो सकती है वो? And Top Gun was made 30 years back यार. Where are we? With so much of ingenuity, so much of technology. We are far ahead in technology, if you say.
They outsource their visual effects.
Yes.
Studios.
What are we making? Making a joke out of it. Bloody flirting going on. What nonsense.
That is mostly for box office profits.
No, but then box office is not an idiot.
Yeah.
We should stop treating our audiences as an idiot. That's why you see all this stardom has gone down. No star. एक जमाना से जब देवानंद निकलते थे, but देवानंद में वो बात भी थी वो बात. If you hear him speak sometime, you will be mesmerized. His wisdom, his knowledge, the way he used to speak, the kind of English which he was using. In those times, आज के stars नहीं बोल पाएंगे so called. And he was a thoughtful man. His cinema was more towards society. His one movie, sorry, topic is digressing, but that's how it will happen. So there's one movie, if you see on war, it is Hum Dono. Must watch. Hum Dono. Have you heard this movie? Hum Dono is a Hindi movie in which Devanand has, what do you call, double character? There are two characters. So it is on a movie. What he is touching is not war. What he is touching is human emotions, which are the fallout of the war. Brilliant. Going by that time, मतलब कितने साल पहले ये थॉट लाना, उसको उसी में गाना है मैं जिंदगी का साथ. Have you heard this song? Very nicely made. What I mean to say is, topic got digressed. So where was I actually? World War One, 1917, classic movie. There you will realize why this leadership requirement changed. World War One के पहले क्या था ना कि mostly royal blood used to be officers. Royal blood, then son of general, admiral, from a different, prestigious family or something like that. There was no proper psychological assessment for the personality ki whether this person should become an officer or not. But World War One में जब one-on-one war हुआ, तब realization हुआ कि भैया ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. वो कहता है ना वो मूवी में सुपर 30 में ऋतिक रोशन, राजा का बेटा ही राजा बनेगा ऐसा नहीं है. Remember that? तो पहले यही था. बट उन्हें समझ में आ गया कि मिलिट्री लीडरशिप इज अ डिफरेंट गेम, राइट? एंड दैट इज व्हेन दिस प्रोसेस इवॉल्व्ड. The idea was to evaluate the person for his leadership skills, not by his looks, not by his genes, not by his lineage, no, but by his personality. What kind of a person it is, because any nation cannot grow economically, politically with a weak defense. Not possible. अभी जाके देखो, रशिया ने अटैक किया यूक्रेन पे, सब हल्ला मचा रहे हैं, कोई कुछ कर पाया उसका? सैंक्शन लगा देंगे. Did it affect him? In fact, in their report, they are making more money now. They started selling weapons. They thought that we will not buy gas from Russia, but then they realized that whole Europe will go in freeze. Blackout हो जाएगा, freeze हो जाएगा. Heating requirements are being met by Russia. India also is very thoughtfully. हमें सस्ते में तेल मिल रहा है तो हम क्यों लें? तुम्हारा युद्ध तुम देखो. Logical. Plus रशिया जैसा दोस्त चाहिए. You need friends like those who stand with you. That is when I'll come to the question of who is your close friend and why. दोस्त ऐसा चाहिए ना, रशिया जैसा. अमेरिका जैसा दोस्त नहीं चाहिए. उसको लड़का दिया वो यूक्रेन को, जा लड़ जा, हम लोग हैं. क्या हाल हो गया उसका देखो. 50 साल पीछे चला गया वो. अच्छा खासा देश, नेटो का मेंबर बन गया था, अब एक्सटिंक्शन पे आ जाएगा वो. Getting my point? So your strength of a country is by its defense forces. That you should know. Why Israel is so powerful? Everyone says Israel is doing wrong. Are you do something about it? Flat कर दिया उसने गाजा को. Inhuman है, गलत है, very bad. But he's still not stopping. And every day these people have meetings. No one says anything. अरे कर क्यों नहीं रहे हो? Because they're scared. Maybe. What else? It's a strong country. China, you see. China is saying Taiwan is my country. US couldn't do anything about it. US, some Secretary of State visited Taiwan. China started firing missiles from this end of Taiwan. It used to go to the other end. From this side of the sea to the other side of the sea. Getting my point? It scared the hell out of them. Power. 9-dash line बना दिया चाइना ने. You guys know what 9-dash line? Okay. I'll tell you some YouTube channels. One of them is Caspian Report. लिख लो. ये चैनल देखना है. Caspian Report for any geopolitical issue. Caspian Report. Then there is a German broadcasting company called DW. German broadcasting company called DW, Caspian Report, Al Jazeera. Very good videos. Al Jazeera. Then Study IQ IAS. Pardon? Reuters, yes. Study IQ IAS. So watch this Caspian Report for all geopolitical issues happening in and around the world. Like 9-dash line, है ना? South China Sea, India-China relations, India-Nepal relations, India-Maldives relations, India-Bangladesh relations, है ना? BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, all these geopolitical, Russia-Ukraine, Israel and that conflict in the Middle East, Houthi rebels and all those things, you'll come to know. You'll have a very good perspective and very authentic. Basically, news channels should not be biased. If you're reading any report or watching any TV channel which is biased, don't do it. It should be authentic. Are you getting my point? आप ऐसी चीज चैनल देखेंगे जो बायस्ड है, आपका माइंड नहीं बायस्ड हो जाएगा. आप अपना ओपिनियन खुद बनाओ. That is why I say you should be an opinionated personality. You should know what, why, when, where, how, and according to that you should speak. This is correct or. But एक चीज खाली मैं बोलूंगा यहाँ पे, आपका ओपिनियन चाहे जो भी हो, देश के खिलाफ नहीं होना. राइट? आप अपना ओपिनियन बनाइए, बट नॉट अगेंस्ट योर ओन नेशन. वो कोई किसी भी, go to any time in the history of humankind, no one who has gone against his nation is remembered or respected. Starting from Ramayana, Vibhishan is not remembered or respected. है ना? जो देशद्रोही हो उसे पूजा नहीं जाता. देशद्रोह की कोई वो नहीं. तो whatever opinion you make, be with your country, and ideally you all are. That's why you are here. And same going by the lines of that, Karn, who was there in Mahabharata, one of the prominent characters, I'll say, he was given the offer by none less than Lord Sri Krishna that you switch sides. He told him, you are the elder brother. You are the one who will be Maharaj. He was given that offer. But he said, no. I will not deceive my friend. That is a man of character. So everyone, you will find this name Karn almost everywhere. Karn नाम सबका होता है. हालांकि वो दुर्योधन के साथ था तो वो कौरवों के साथ. परंतु everyone puts their name as Karan. You'll hear Karan Arjun, movies भी बनती हैं. Why? Because that is a man of conviction, of character. Right? So you make an opinion, but do not go against her. No one will take it, I'm telling you. ठीक है? So World War I के बाद एक कमेटी बनाई गई. उस कमेटी का काम था कि let's evaluate कि what should be the selection procedure and how should we evaluate people. Basically अब evaluation क्या है कि whether this person will be able to lead his men in war. At that time, if you see, war was common. Now also it is common, becoming common. Till the time Russia invaded Ukraine, तब तक ऐसा लग नहीं रहा था कि war होगा, but हो गया. है कि नहीं? Correct? Conflict होते थे, but ऐसा a country attacking another country, I think it was the first time after a long time. So, who came to help? They did a lot of research. So first thing that they did was कि ask the people who are into the business. तो उन्होंने अपने एडमिरल से पूछे, अपने जनरल से पूछे, बताओ भाई क्या चाहिए तुम्हें, तुम्हारा जो ऑफिसर हो कैसा हो. कुछ क्वालिटीज उन्होंने बताई. लॉयल होना चाहिए, ब्रेव होना चाहिए, करेज ऑफ कन्विक्शन होना चाहिए, टीम मेंबर होना चाहिए. सम क्वालिटीज केम फ्रॉम टॉप. कुछ उन्होंने अपने जवानों से पूछे, तुम बताओ तुम्हें कैसे लीडर. एंड सम क्वालिटीज केम फ्रॉम, and these qualities are now called as. So you'll be surprised, initially more than 200 qualities came, but most of them were similar. Courage के ही अलग अलग नाम आ गए, situations आ गई, honesty के ही अलग अलग नाम आ गए. उनको finally club in करते finally they arrived at something known as officer like qualities. Initial roll cues were, I think, I'm not able to recollect now, but I think it was 29. Again, I'm not very sure, but somewhere around that, it was brought down to 22, and finally it has come to 15 OL cues in India. And who is the authority on this? Defense Institute of Psychological Research, DIPR. So every SSB under Indian diaspora, India, is managed or run or trained or monitored or further trained. It's not that once you become an assessor, you don't need training. You need training. So further trained by DIPR. Very renowned organization, flawless organization, and a lot of work is still going on and it will continue to go on. But major thing that they do is managing SSBs. They're also into a lot of psychological research about the other issues which services have, about long separation. वो सब भी तो डील करना है ना. फिर वो कैसे मैनेज करें, कैसे उनको साइकोलॉजिकली अपबीट रखें, बहुत सारे आइडियाज वो लेके आते. खैर उसमें हम नहीं जाते. तो where was I? DIPR does that, right? So now who came to help when this board was sitting? किसने help की उनकी? Anyone? The man. So when they know कि we have to assess qualities, what this person will do in a situation, not in normal situation, तो सब officer like है. जब when going gets tough gets. तो वो बंदा कैसा होना चाहिए? So the man who actually came to help was Dr. Sigmund Simon Freud. Fred or Freud, whatever you call him. Freud, many people call him Freud, whatever. Sigmund Freud, many people call him Freud also, but he is the main man. And his theory called as psychoanalysis. ये है main खेल. Psychoanalysis theory given by Dr. Sigmund Freud, Fred, whatever, followed and amplified by many other people. Carl Jung, his own daughter, and then there a lot of evolutions happened. But this man is the Pied Piper. So he came up at that time only, during that time, with this something known as psychoanalysis. And it was basically developed as a clinical tool. A lot of people go into depression. A lot of people have mental and anxiety issues. A lot of people do not feel well. How to treat them? One is you give them medicine. Another is you go down to their thought process. Reach to that part, what is troubling him, and help him from there. So that is what you see na therapy sessions. उसमें क्या करता है वो? बात ही तो करता है कि नहीं? तो अब अगर हमें डॉक्टर सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की साइको एनालिटिक थ्योरी को समझना है तो हमें कहाँ जाना पड़ेगा? एक डायग्राम पे. किसके डायग्राम पे? आइसबर्ग. You have read about it? How much you know?
Sir, this theory, they are divided into ego, alter ego.
हाँ, ego, superego, and id-ego and superego. That we will discuss a little later. But this theory is slightly different. What he says here is that if you want to understand the mind, imagine an iceberg. What is the peculiar thing about iceberg? 90% of the iceberg is underwater. If you really want to know more about iceberg, you should watch this movie called Titanic. Very well made movie again. What happened to Titanic?
The bad weather and poor decision making.
I will not agree. Bad weather तो is always there. हम that way India में समझते नहीं है value इसकी. But we are the blessed people. We don't have that weather issues. नहीं तो people in Europe or northern than that, they तो struggle with weather. Life is so dependent upon weather. हम ये कभी नहीं सोचते. Like हमारे लिए जब ठंड होती तो कितनी डिग्री जाती है? दिल्ली में 4 डिग्री. That is a normal temperature there. And when it's cold, it is minus. रशिया के कुछ एरियाज में तो -50 डिग्री है. पता है कैसे सर्वाइव करते हैं लोग उसमें? Siberia and Scandinavian countries also, right? But that is what makes them very strong also at the same time. Scandinavians. That reminds me of a series called what is that series on Netflix? Very beautiful. Vikings. Have you seen that?
The Vikings, but they were Nordic, right?
Nordic. Yeah. Again, cold weather. Very cold. Right? तो कहाँ पे थे हम लोग? So Titanic, he said, कि got cracked. He's wrong. Titanic was not cracked. Cracked तो normal ship होता है. Titanic अलग ही है. It broke. If you've seen the movie, and otherwise also if you see the documentary on Titanic, it is in 2 parts. Can you imagine the impact? A ship like Titanic breaking in 2 parts. It's all iron. Strong bottom. It was assumed to be unsinkable. Ship sink नहीं करते जल्दी. But Titanic तो 2 पार्ट में टूट गया. तो you can imagine the impact and the power of the iceberg. Breaking the ship like Titanic, he hadn't a wooden ship, fine. Wooden ship it breaks in 2 parts, 3 parts, 10 parts. But a metallic ship breaking in 2 parts, it's something different. And Titanic broke in 2 parts. So Titanic, if you go to the bottom, it is like this.
Yes, sir.
It is like this. My idea is to tell you it is so strong. This portion is so strong. And as per Dr. Sigmund Freud, so is your mind. This portion, which is below the surface of the water or which is not usually visible, he named it as unconscious mind. And he says that person is not what he's showing. This part is a facade, the conscious part. That is not true you. True you is here in your unconscious. And if you want to know a person, you have to reach to his unconscious mind. You will see there are cases wherein a person was in love with another person, and eventually he gets so charged at some point of time that he murders that same person brutally. One is murdering impulsively, galti se, unintentionally, और less brutally, धक्का दे दिया गुस्से में. So it is like an assault and it resulted in a fatality. One is you go so brutal, you cut in the pieces. Cold blooded नहीं है ये, है emotionally triggered है यहाँ से. But that person at that point of time has no control over it. His satisfaction, that is where the id factor will come. The desire portion has gone so high, he just cannot think of anything else. Just want to kill that person. He's so much driven by emotions. He's not thinking it is the same person whom I loved. And he's not thinking if I kill, I'll be in the jail. He's not thinking. He's so much charged by emotions, and that is the power of unconscious mind. No one would have imagined कि ये बंदा ऐसा कर सकता है. When I was in Cochin, we had a lieutenant, Navy lieutenant. So we used to train together. So naval lieutenant, and he was a very normal guy, very normal, friendly, happy. That person, it's there in the internet also if you find. He took from Cochin, he came to Bombay. He was in love with a girl. That girl was in love with another person, or there was a third person. This person came by flight to Bombay, killed that person in her flat, then he cut the body in 3 pieces, put them in a bag, throw it somewhere, return back to Cochin normal. Can you believe it? It's a true story. Check on internet. Navy lieutenant, Cochin murder, something, Bombay murder. And that girl was very beautiful. हमेशा problem में देखना लड़की जरूर हो. No, I'm not saying in that manner. My apologies. What I mean to say is कि उसकी problem में लड़की थी. कई बार लड़कों से भी होता है. एक यहाँ अहमदाबाद का केस बताता हूँ. एक बंदा है लास्ट नवरात्रि में, नवरात्रि आने वाली है, लास्ट नवरात्रि में he comes to a police station. नवरात्रि का फेस्टिव मूड होता है यहाँ पे, वेरी फेस्टिव. तो वो पुलिस वाले भी मस्ती में थे. 2 बजे 3 बजे रात को वो आके बोलता है, आई हैव किल्ड अ पर्सन, 18-year-old boy, huh, by the way. I have killed a person, his body is there in my SUV, you can please go and check. You heard? पुलिस वालों को लगा मजाक कर रहा है. मैं हट भाई से. No, it's there, go and see. So they went out and saw कि Ford Fiesta, Ford Figo में front seat पे there is a body जो उसने रखी हुई है, his own friend, and this person had stabbed him 7 times, deep wounds. Again there was a case, there was a triangle. So you see what is happening. He killed his own best friend. No one would have guessed it. Can you guess it? समझ में आ रहा है? अगर कोई बंदा माफिया हो, किसी उस एलिमेंट में हो, किसी, तब तो समझ में आता है ये कैसे कोई एक्सेप्ट करेगा. कैसे प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हो आप ऐसा बिहेवियर? कर सकते हो? कर सकते हो अगर तुम्हारा एसएसबी किया जाए तो. इसीलिए एसएसबी का एम है टू रीच हियर and make sure that there is no psychopath sitting here.
So what about that by that who got selected? Is the system failing?
Maybe there can be odd events. There can be.
Sir, I believe there is no perfect system.
There's no.
ideal.
Another case is there. Major, an army major was in love with a wife of a lieutenant colonel. This is also there on YouTube if you check. You seen that? You're interested in that direction? Are you planning to kill someone? वो इतनी मोहब्बत थी, तो मोहब्बत है तो उसको रखो, उसको खत्म क्यों करना है और उसको इतनी बुरी तरह क्यों करना है? ये क्या मोहब्बत है फिर? चलो पहली बात तो यही गलती हुई कि यू आर इन लव विद अ मैरिड लेडी एंड ही वाज हिमसेल्फ मैरिड. उसके बाद उसको बुलाया, उसने उसको लेके गया. फाइनली व्हेन शी मस्ट हैव सेड कि आई डोंट वांट टू डू दिस, ऑफ कोर्स शी हैज अ रीजनेबल लॉजिक फॉर इट. He rammed his Honda City on her. ठीक है, एक बार रैम कर दिया, reversed. What kind of person is this? No one would have imagined. He is otherwise simple, happy-go-lucky. वहां से ड्राइव करके मेरठ गया जहां पे वो पोस्टेड था, वहां पे पकड़ा उसको. है कि नहीं? So these are the cases which I am enumerating to tell you how powerful is your unconscious. It can make you do so many things. And you really don't know, and whole life you spend repenting, it doesn't make any sense, because that one moment has changed your life permanently. Where does the trigger come from? The trigger to do such an extreme thing, kahan se aata hai? It comes from your, and what is there in your unconscious? As per Sigmund Freud, it has your knowledge, it has your memories and experiences, how you grew. So that is when he come to the theory ki how you grew upon as a person. And that is when he says ki child, when he is growing till the time he becomes an adult, that is 18 years, his psychology is forming. That is why young जो बच्चे होते हैं एनडीए वगैरह के, उनकी ट्रेनेबिलिटी ज्यादा है, क्योंकि एज उसकी सिगमंड फ्रॉइड साइड के हिसाब से अगर आप एक बार एडल्ट बन गए हैं, 20 साल के हो गए, 21 साल के हो गए हैं, आपको ट्रेन करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है.